How you doing? This is Shawn. I am formerly from Reef Stabilization Creations, and I had reef tanks up just 6-7 months ago, and I made a big change to freshwater. I went to discus. I wanted to make the change primarily for financial reasons. My business, Reef Stabilization Creations, absolutely did no business whatsoever, so I closed the business. And I just want to be in the hobby and do videos for informational reasons. And I've always wanted to do discus. Now, when I had reef tanks, I had them for about 5 years, and I was able to keep corals alive just fine. I always tended to overstock it. That was one problem I had, and I wanted to keep my fish healthy, so I always tended to overfeed. So I thought, after time, before I did my reef tank, I had discus once, and I didn't have an RODI to keep the water clean, and where I live, my water is horrible. So I wanted to try them, and I started watching videos and decided I was going to change. So when this tank was filled with corals and rock, the last video I posted, I decided to use this tank. Now, once I set this thing up for discus, I started using mostly RODI water, and I started watching videos, and I decided that that's how I would keep these guys alive and healthy. Now, I've done several water changes. I do water changes about, I would say, normally when the tank is full, I do about 25% or 20% water change every other day or every day. And that's kind of, most people do more than that. Some of these are juveniles, some of them are medium sized, they're growing. This is going to be my grow tank. I had a reason why it's not filled all the way is I had a brace up here break. Now, right now, this was a quick setup. I set it up around Christmas time, put a couple discus in, then I set it up. I had canister filter and this and that. And I took the canister filter off. I decided to go with what most discus people suggest, and that's with sponge filters. I have 2 sponge filters, 2 large sponge filters. I have some red-eye tetras and some cardinal tetras in there. A couple of bristlenose plecos, which I don't really need, and some cory cats, which I didn't read up enough about them before I decided to put them in the tank, and I realized they do better in sand. So my next setup is going to be a bigger tank for these guys, and it's going to have cories and sand in the bottom. A light coat of sand, just enough, because I like the sand look, and it will be planted. I have several plants in here. I have anubias, I have some grass that needs to be cut in the center. I use what they call duckweed, which is along the top here. Use it as like a macroalgae, and I scoop it out every week, and it just takes out nutrients, and it grows back and covers the whole top. I also have some Amazon swords. I have 2 ones that are starting to flourish in here. There's some, I believe it's Java fern. I have a Crips, and I don't know what the other one in the back is. I forget, but this is also Pennyworth up here growing with the duckweed. That's also a plant that could be a floating plant, and that's doing great too. So I'm going to come up and give you guys a closer picture of my discus. I wanted you guys to have a good video of the discus now, and that's why I'm doing the videos, because I want them to grow, and I'm going to do it all about my discus. I'm totally doing discus now. That's what I'm into. I just want to give a shout out to Planted MN. I watched his videos and I like his videos. Fortunately, I think I was going to do his setup, and he has like a refugium and everything, and I decided against it for me. My bigger tank is going to be set up a little bit differently because of the amount of water changes I do. I think the sponges will be sufficient. We'll see how it morphs and how I'm going to keep it. For right now, I like the way this is going. I don't like the gravel, but since they're juveniles, it's easy enough for me to clean this and do the maintenance for now. I'm going to give you a close-up. I'm going to give them a feeding, and I might have one or two more additions of discus in here, but then I think I'm done as far as additions to the tank until these guys get a little bigger and I get my bigger tank. So let me come in a little closer. So you can see them feed, because I'm going to give them some. Now these are frozen bloodworms, and they seem to love these guys. And they even come right up. I got a snake skin in here. I don't know if you can see him. I'm going to see if I can get some good video on him as best as I can with these guys. And we'll see how this goes. Now the snakeskin is the smallest of all the discus, and there's a couple of that I got that are like a millennium gold or almost an albino color. Then there's also there is a blue diamond, but he didn't come over to eat. He's been kind of, he had babies and eggs, I should say, not babies, over there in the corner a few weeks ago, and I took some photos of that. So I don't know, I think it might be a female. She's kind of protecting that area still, so she comes when she wants to eat, and then she kind of leaves. So it's kind of like a tricky situation with her right now. And they're pairing off several times already to try to have eggs. I'm going to be getting rid of that castle. It's just going to be sand and plants as soon as I can. And like I said, the grass is overgrown. I haven't been able to trim too much because this is a deep tank. It's mostly a grow-out tank for my discus until I get my bigger tank, which may happen in about 4 months. And I've changed the name of my videos now. It's called Shawn's Fish Tanks. I don't know if I'm going to change it to Shawn's Discus. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but I will let you guys know. And we'll see how this goes. I want you guys to be able to see how my discus grow. I'll keep you updated. I do use 2 gallons of tap water. I feed frozen bloodworm, brine shrimp, frozen brine shrimp, I should say. I feed frozen beef heart, and I have to say, I love this hobby. In comparison to reefing, I don't know what it is. There's something about discus. They're beautiful. I love the way they act. They're very friendly. They come, they see me coming down. This is in my basement. They see me come and they want me to feed them right when I come down the stairs. I love the fact that the simplicity of it. You just keep